All right, welcome back live to the showdown here as we continue. I thought the defense played well for a quarter and a half. They did everything they were supposed to do, but eventually they wore down because the offense did absolutely nothing. But still, there are issues with his defense. Paul Zeise, they still gave up far too many yards on the ground. Tonight it was Jarrett McKinnon who was available. They scooped him up, and it didn't matter. It just ran right through them. Where are the biggest problems on this defense, and what do they need to correct moving forward?
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear that they need their defensive line rebuilt a little bit. Everybody has this idea that Alu and Tuitt are going to come save and rescue the day next year. Alu will be coming off a major injury. He's not a spring chicken. Tuitt, who knows what's going to happen with him? I'll be shocked even if he's back. So they're going to have to rebuild there. Their inside linebackers are just, they're just not very good. Spillane is a decent run stopper, but he's a ham and egger overall. You've got, Devin Bush, who just either he's injured or whatever, but he just didn't have a good season at all, didn't do a whole lot. Joe Schobert, you could find his face on a milk carton because he's been missing for 16 weeks. At the end of the day, if you're not good up the middle like that, it's probably going to be pretty easy to run against you.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the single most significant play of the season was probably Alu going down in week 2 against the Raiders. And I don't think, the idea he might even come back is 35. Who knows if Tuitt's coming back? But they have so many needs. They're gonna have to decide whether they want to exercise Devin Bush's 5th year in this offseason. And I'm not sure that that's a path that they, look like they want to go down. There's a lot of holes. And the thing is, they do have $40+ million in cap room, but they got to spread it around. It's not like you can dump $30 million into 2 veteran, maybe they keep Montravius Adams, maybe they keep him. But there's a lot of holes, Pomp, and I just don't see, like, Cam and TJ can't do it and Mika can't do it by themselves. But tonight it seemed like that's what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anytime you give up 40+ points in 3 straight playoff games to set a dubious NFL record, you've got to look yourself in the mirror. And I don't care about regular season, led the league in sacks nonsense. What are you doing when it counts in January and this team gets run over and they give up touchdowns at will in the biggest games? Okay, Devin Bush, to me, is a move. One of those things, we talked about Chris Archer with the Pirates, Bob, right? It set the team back years, that trade.
Right.
I think this one's one of those moves. I really do. You moved up and gave up draft capital. When you go up to 10, you're making a move that gets compared to the Palomalu trade. That Roethlisberger was the 11th pick. You are going into an area where the Steelers expect an all-pro player, borderline Hall of Fame player, no hyperbole. He stinks. He is a liability on the field. So it really starts and ends there for me. I don't throw more money at a bad situation. The idea of picking up the 5th-year option for him, in my opinion, that's an open shut case. He doesn't get it, just like Burns and who else? Jarvis Jones.
Terrell Edmonds didn't get it either.
He now falls into that category with those first-round busts.
So you're already calling him a bust. What about you, Will? Are you doing that? Because they saw with Bud Dupree, I remember the same thing. People calling him a bust, and all of a sudden he put it together at the very last second and turned into a franchise player for them. What do you see in Devin Bush's future?
Before that happened with Dupree, remember, before he did that, in a playoff game, he knocked out Matt Moore.
I understand.
The next playoff game,
but up until
Alex
that
Smith
point, he didn't have much.
He made big plays.
I understand that, but there was a lot of debate and a lot of people who did not want them to pick up that option. What about you now, Will, with Bush?
I remember talking to Darius Hayward-Bay when he was with the Steelers, and let's remember he got drafted by the Raiders like in the top 10 because he ran like a 4.2 at the combine, right? And I think he has to carry that with him throughout his career, and I think that's the same way. I think the Steelers got enamored with Devin Bush. And look, he's an athletic kid. He's got a good pedigree. He came from a good school. He made a lot of plays in college. But physically, you watch him and he cannot cover the Travis Kelce's of the world, right? And it's part of his job. And he can't do it. So if he can't do it, and he's got to carry that, I think that the other way, like you guys talked about Archer, the Pirates for a while, like doubled down. And I think it's the same way here. I think it's more likely they do pick it up because I think they're heavily invested in him not sucking. And that's just sort of because they traded up, because they made all these unusual moves to kind of get him. I think that is going to play a factor in their decision making here.
So, Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, it absolutely is going to, because they did, invest so much draft capital in it, and they can write this season off as saying, he was just not quite as, he was not quite himself because he was coming off a major injury and all the other stuff. I just think the guy's not a very good football player. I think there are certain guys that just, they have all the athleticism in the world. They don't have certain instincts. They just aren't good football players. I think that's him. I think they need to cut ties and move.
All right, that's 2 out of 3. Say cut ties with Devin Bush. When we come back, we're going to talk about what happens at quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger, likely that was his final game, and the Steelers have got to make some decisions here. What will they do? Stay in-house, promote from within, look outside, draft? A lot of interesting options there. We'll talk about it next right here live on KDKA-TV.